everyone, welcome to Jay's Quick Thoughts. So today I wanted to talk about CoryXKenshin, who's a popular YouTuber, has a very successful book that just released, selling over 200,000 copies in the first week, which is pretty cool to see, especially from independent creators. It's called The Monsters We Make, and there has been some discourse because it's being referred to as a manga, and manga typically refers to Japanese-made comics specifically, although the word manga actually means comic in Japanese. And in Japan, the word anime is just short for animation. So anything that's animated will be considered anime. Like Disney would be called foreign anime. I do think that they probably could have called it a graphic novel or manga inspired. But at the same time, I feel like the word manga is probably going to become more popular to use, considering the fact that manga is very relevant nowadays. It pretty much consistently outsells comics. And the comics themselves, at least from the mainstream, just haven't been that impactful. Comics tend to only go viral when there's a controversy, like the recent Harley Quinn Fartacular comic. And I think that the comic book industry, along with Disney and Warner Brothers, are largely responsible for that. They've been prioritizing other media, like the video games or the movies, instead of the comics, when they could have been doing both. The MCU was huge for well over a decade, and they could have maybe given out free comic books with a ticket purchase, or a digital comic or something. That way they could encourage new readers to come in and check out the huge backlog of comics that we have at our disposal. But they just didn't really do anything to get people into the comics, and they were more concerned about brand synergy with the MCU. We lost Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which I actually really enjoyed that cartoon, but instead it got replaced with a different Avengers cartoon, one that they felt matched better with the MCU specifically. And now Marvel Rivals is huge, but I don't think that's translating into comic sales either. I have several videos on the comics, so I won't rehash everything here. I just think that it's disappointing that they had all this opportunity and they just left money on the table. But my point is, we're probably going to get more people just referring to comics as manga in general. Manga's doing really well, and I think there's a lot of factors to it. First of all, there's a lot more variety in manga, whether it's genre or target audience. For mainstream comics, it's mostly just superheroes, among other reasons. And so now here we are. My sister and I are working on a project right now, but we're calling it a graphic novel instead of a manga. But we were inspired by Western comics and cartoons, like He-Man or Commandy. And you can tell by the art style that it's more Western, whereas CoryXKenshin's definitely looks more anime and manga style. And that's cool. So we're calling our project a graphic novel and not a manga, but I can kind of see where he's coming from. But anyway, let's get into the article. YouTube star CoryXKenshin took a 1.5-year hiatus from the internet to cook up his very own manga, and it's been a big hit, selling an eye-popping number of copies at launch. CoryXKenshin is one of the most popular gaming YouTubers on the platform, boasting over 21 million subscribers who tune in for his hilarious videos playing through popular horror titles like Poppy Playtime and Five Nights at Freddy's. And I think that the fact that he has such a large audience is definitely contributing to his success, and I think it's really cool to see content creators branch out and do their own thing too. However, the internet icon suddenly went radio silent in 2023. He disappeared for over a year up until late 2024, when he returned with a video explaining that his lengthy absence was due to a new project he'd been working on that entire time. And as someone who's also making a graphic novel, I can kind of see where they're coming from, because it is a lot of work. Personally, I wouldn't stop making videos entirely, but for me, this has been going on for over 4 years. And that's another reason why I haven't really talked about it, because I didn't want to say anything until we got closer to it being revealed. But it is a lot of work, and the thing is, since I have my sister to help, then I can work on the channel while she covers the graphic novel, and that definitely helps a lot. I can definitely see doing all of this on your own would probably be pretty overwhelming, so I'm really grateful to have M, but it's still cool that he was able to do this, and it ended up selling out almost immediately, and it sold over 200,000 copies, and then he confirmed volume 2. That's not all. Thanks to its success, a second volume of Monsters We Make has been confirmed, which is slated for publication in late 2025. Monsters We Make is a playground for me to exercise all the ideas and life experiences I've collected from the decades of being a spectator, Cory said of his series, creating a story that scrutinizes humanity and what makes us tick, injecting some of the black representation I've been longing to see in this space, and finally adding in some sprinkles of my faith in God were the driving forces behind this project. And people often say write the story you want to read, and I think it's really exciting when people create new IPs. I think in a Hollywood landscape where they're just doing remakes and sequels and not really branching out into anything new, it basically falls onto independent creators to and carve out their own stories. So good for him. It meant a lot to me to see a character like the Raikage from Naruto in a space where you don't typically see black characters, let alone powerful ones. My hope is that my main character Jabari can be to people what Goku was to me growing up. This experience, while a ton of work, has been incredibly fun and fulfilling. Yeah, I think we all have those dreams of creating the next big thing. You know, like how people all over the world love Goku. And it's really exciting to share your work and something you worked so hard on. I think it's awesome that he wants to see more representation of black characters and he's doing something about it. And hopefully going forward we'll see more independent creators doing something similar. I know I want to. So the article finishes up with Cory has been hard at work on this original manga, even taking another month offline to focus wholly on business before getting back into making YouTube videos. And this is clearly something that he feels is best for his work, and I'm sure he wants to make the best quality products, whether it's content creation for YouTube or this manga. And it's important not to get burned out and run yourself too ragged, working on multiple projects at once. So lastly it says, while this endeavor has taken him away from creating content for his not-so-patient fan base, he's made it clear that he isn't abandoning his YouTube channel and is holding firm to his promise to upload 100 videos in 2025. I know it can definitely be frustrating for people who want to see his regular YouTube content, but at the end of the day, I think that it's important to prioritize, your mental health and also quality over quantity. So overall, excited to see something new from independent creators, and I definitely wish him the best. So what do you think about all of this? Do you think it shouldn't be called a manga? Are you excited for more content from CoryXKenshin? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. Before I go, I want to give a shout out to our members. Tyrant Carnivore, Shiny Orc Boy, Depth Charge Media, Samaru163, Gabby Hime, Verdant Range, JVR, Equestron, Norman Sweet Cream, Way Beyond Coincidence, Hunter Rose, 80s Nostalgia Guy, Felix Bam, Lucas Geist, J Draws, Meowsers, Sky, Philip, Isaac Martinez, Garcia XV Legend, Tobias Weller, Bandito Bane, Mac B909, Dakari the Professor, Todd McCaffrey, Omni Fair, General Bolivar, Cavalcoj, Strider Exile, Phil C, Killer Bomb, Slawa Saporiguez, Entwined Boot 301, Griffin of Might, Frankie Camarillo, Datadyne Executive, Crimson Phantom, Jin the Goblin, Papa Hud 69, The Gengar King, and Daunter. Thank you for the support, and if you want to become a member, you can hit the join button next to the subscribe button. We also have Buy Me Coffee if you want to support us that way. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and that part's free. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.